Just this year alone, we have saved over $100 million that we could actually utilize to pay for these vehicles.
The ESMA, the Prime Minister indicated that he would want to introduce it in Parliament in January. Just trying to understand what the approach that is going to be taken in terms of the...
No, but it's a legal...
Joint select with submissions from civil society and other members of the...
That comes when you get to Parliament. But the Prime Minister, that we want is basically to engage all legal minds available to look at how we can satisfy that the constitutional criteria to separate the heavy violence producers, known killers, from the community. I said it is welcome that the leader of the opposition indicated that he would be happy to accommodate detention but under judicial review. We don't have any problem with that. We are confident the police have the required intelligence package to demonstrate to the judges that we have some people on the road who should be off the road. Bail within 48 hours, I think it is, the right. Right now, there are quite a few vocal individuals who have tall platforms on which to speak, who always remind the country of the rights of the criminals. Very few people speak about the rights of my constituents. We can no longer play domino in the square. I go to church on a Wednesday night, and go to prayer meeting as they wish, or even Sunday evening. And in fact, as I said too, on my constituents, they're 24/7, they're 24 at home. And I can remember so many fathers would come to me and speak so strongly that he can no sleep because his daughter works in the free zone or in the hotel and she leaves on the midnight shift. And he couldn't sleep until she was home. And whether it was his home or another home, call him and tell him I'm home. Right? It actually put pressure on people's health. And that's the rights of those people I am seeking to protect and defend.
Politics clearly is not Sunday school, but I'm sensing that the exchange between the opposition and the government is reaching a point now where, in my view, the society is looking on and saying, these are lawmakers, these are the people who are elected to solve the problems of this country. Can't they meet? What about the Via Royal talks? Couldn't the opposition and the government sit down at Via Royal and iron out these issues?
But let's say the Parliament in a democracy that can be an exciting place. And I say it's not about Sunday school. Korea is one of the wealthiest countries today, and I recall in their early years of development, not so far back, you'll see them throwing the shares across the aisles at each other. But they continue to grow the country and to maintain good order, and now they are one of the most successful country and wealthiest country. Politics is that what you can say outside, but that's an emotional issue. And there are issues that will come to Parliament that individuals be strong about. So whether we talk at Bill Royal or God House or other house somewhere else, you will go to Parliament and emotions will come forward.
You're referring specifically to efficiencies, or if it was a procedural issue. Explain a little more to me exactly how it worked.
Well, the procedural issue brings certain efficiencies. So what it really involves is ensure we have standard operating procedures in terms of how we approach the monitoring of the projects, how we interrogate the invoices that are submitted. Because you will have cases where invoices that were previously submitted for payment, you may see those being resubmitted, as well as the likelihood and the possibility of over invoices. So we have to make sure that we interrogate those properly before we move ahead to pay. And through that process, I'm saying, just this year alone, we have saved over $100 million that we could actually utilize to pay for these vehicles.
Okay. And of course, with your background from finance, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I suppose it would have helped a lot in terms of the approach that you brought to the ministry.
Right. It's more, I would call it more than a multiplier effect. The impact of having that kind of mindset, that kind of look, with certain things I'll be able to pick up. So in terms of resourcing the police, it's not just about going to Ministry of Finance to seek to add more. It's to see how even our own processes, how we can gain efficiencies. From those efficiencies, we can actually provide more.
One final thing, Pierce, clear up for me the comments that were made in the Senate by Senator Don Webby, who had claimed that in terms of the expenditure, about a third, if I'm not mistaken,
Right, it's at 17% of
yes,
the budget.
has already
of the capital
been
budget.
utilized, so to speak. Explain to me, is he suggesting that the ministry is not moving decisively to get projects on the way? And if so, why not?
Well, I think that statement was more than unfortunate because it can be easily explained, as I had done before. But just to look back, we have 5 major capital projects, and 3 of those make up 81% of the budget. So if you really want to see what's happening, you just need to look at those 3 projects. And for 2 of those, ships for the Jamaica Defence Force and a cyber security project, those 2 alone are almost 3/4 of the budget, and those have payment at specific times. So a payment, for example, for the cyber security is due this month, and it will be paid this month. Once that is paid, you move from 17% to 38%. That's the due date. The next date when it's due is March. When that is paid, you're almost at 50% already, just from 2 payments. In terms of the ships, of course, that is also based on what they call milestone payments. So based on certain activities that will take place in terms of the preparation, manufacture of the ships, then the JDF will make the payments based on those agreed terms. They already would have made a payment in line with the contractual obligation. So if a payment for that is due in January, the question is, should I go ahead and pay it in August? To whose benefit? Certainly not to mine. Certainly not to the public of Jamaica. So this is the schedule you have, this is the contract you have, and you pay as per schedule.